All right, we're live. Welcome to Daily Confidence for Entrepreneurs. My name is Mostafa Husseini, and I'm your host for the show. This week, we are doing the confidence giveaway, and I'm super excited about it. And the theme of our giveaway is to share gifts with entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, you name it, to help them boost their confidence in different areas of business. Over the past year or so since the pandemic hit us, a lot of people have been under a tremendous amount of pressure. People lost their business. People lost revenue, customers. We're spending too much time at home, mental health, physical health. And, business is there's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of skills to master. And we've got 6 categories to help you boost your confidence in, starting with mindset, sales and marketing, business strategy, speaking, visibility, health and wellness, and there's probably another one or two. And today we are interviewing an amazing expert, starting with Stacy Brioka. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you so much, Mostafa. I'm glad to be here.
Did I butcher your last name?
No, you didn't do bad. Do you want me to say it again?
Brioka?
Bryuka.
Brioka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were close.
All right.
I'm not giving you points off for that.
All right. I was probably like 90% there.
Yeah, I'd say 90%. Right.
I appreciate that. Good. So how's your day going so far?
It is going great. This is one of my favorite giveaways. I think wildly that the first time I participated, my personal confidence level in business was not as much as it is now. And so, and I'd participated not only as a gift giver, but I am quite sure that I have gifts from the contributors that have contributed to my confidence.
Love it. That's amazing. Great to hear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a pretty good lineup of heart-centered, amazing entrepreneurs, and I'm more than proud of our contributors.
Oh, it's a brilliant community.
Love it. Love it. And the energy, the vibe, what's going on, and the collaboration, it's just beautiful. Mm-hmm. So give us your name, your business name, and where you're from.
So my name's Stacy Brioka. I'm affectionately known as the technology therapist. I own Brioka Enterprises, and I also own Done For You Concierge, both LLCs. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, so I'm in the middle of the country. And I think that was all you asked at the moment.
Yes. So why did I think you were in California?
Because one of my colleagues that I work closely with is actually in California.
All right. A lot of people that I know that work with you are probably in California too.
I work with a lot of people in California.
Yeah. A lot of my Cali people are talking about you. So.
Uh-oh.
So, and they're all happy.
Oh, that's good.
What's the story behind your business? How did you get into this tech therapy?
Okay, so part of the story behind it is I'm actually a clinical social worker by education. I spent the last 25 years in mental health in that field. So the idea of stress and the anxiety and things we've been through this last year is really high on my radar. As a matter of fact, the other piece that it's been high on my radar for that many people in our community probably don't know about me, I'll let it loose now. I actually have a degree in public health as well. So the mental health impacts of COVID are really close to my heart and people having stress. But the other thing that is close to my heart, because in 5th grade, I had a larger version of one of these. It's a Commodore 64 computer. This is not the actual one. Huh?
Is that something you use now?
This is actually a mock-up, but it is a gaming device.
Oh my God, that looks
got all the games from the Commodore 64 on it you can play on your TV. But I use it as a prop as well. To remind people, those of a certain age would remember it. So that was my first computer. Fast forward, I was going to be an engineer out of high school. That didn't work. I later, after being a therapist, helped my grandpa learn how to use a computer. So helping people with their technology stress really started with my grandpa. And it's just come, the circle has come back around. And now I have merged my therapist self with my geek girl, and I help people with their technology stress from a human perspective. not just from a geek perspective.
Love it. So I know a lot of people that I work with need help with tech. It's massive, and they lose their confidence in business because they can't figure out the tech piece. And I know many coaches, business owners and whatnot, that they get held up between 6 months to 2 years.
I heard you say that the other day.
Behind the tech hurdle. And they actually don't launch their business. They don't, they get stuck. So very, very important. So tell us about
the world kind of is losing out on what their gift is.
Absolutely.
They're not able to provide that gift that soon.
And for me, because I kind of work in the tech environment and I grew up with tech, it's kind of easy. And I'm like, this is easy. But people have a hard time with it.
They have a really hard time with it.
Yeah.
And like you said, though, those of us who know it, and I mean, I've never known tech stress.
Yeah, me too.
But I definitely know what anxiety stress looks like from both a personal perspective and a therapy perspective. And I have seen the terror, literal terror that technology causes people.
Absolutely. So, gang, if you're watching or listening, if you have any questions while I'm interviewing our experts about technology right now, later on, we're going to do mindset, health and wellness, and the rest of it. Pop your question in the chat box, and then let me give you the link to go and claim your gifts right now while we're chatting. There are over 20 gifts that are waiting for you to tapping, and these are not like a checklist or a PDF that you would download. They're actual gifts that they get sold. So
there was a gift I heard about the other day in one of the interviews that it was a meditation, a guided meditation, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I already claimed mine. I wanted to get it. It's a good thing. A good thing they're not limited. I didn't have to get it before somebody else got them. Yeah, everybody can have
you one. You can get access to it until Sunday. So go in there and get it. And in these days with all that has been going on, meditation is an absolute must.
There are 4 silent killers that were underneath all of our health problems prior to COVID.
What are they?
Sleep, stress, self-care, and stigma. Mental health stigma. And those actually are the drivers of why I do help people with the technology, because I want to take that part of the stress off, because my underlying mission is to help people have more time for self-care.
Love it. Love it. Love it. You're very, very, very important. Now, what is, who do you serve and what do you do for them?
So who we serve are entrepreneurs who have tech-related stress. And what we do for them is literally do the work, coach them through the work, or when they come upon a brick wall of whatever it is they're working on. Let's say they're trying to put their landing page up for an opt-in for a giveaway, and they're like, I'm stuck here. We come in and we have packages of hours that people buy. And let's say that task only takes us 26 minutes, where it might take them 26 hours and they're frustrated. We take 26 minutes off of whatever they've bought from us, and then they've got the rest of that time still available. So it's kind of on a gift card swipe system. So we do the task for them, and then they move on with things that they understand, and then they come back to us when they're having a stressful moment. That's one of the ways we serve them.
Yeah.
The other way is we have a getting started package, and it comes with a bunch of things also. So
very nice. So if they need help with tech, they come talk to you.
And we figure out which things are better for them. Frequently people come to us and they have 16 different pieces of tech that they've either invested in, they're subscribing to, blah, blah, blah. And they only need 3 or 4. Yep. So we help them figure out which ones play nice together, which ones fit their literacy, their budget, and their goals.
Yeah.
Help them pare that down. So we actually help them save money first.
Yeah.
then help them get that system to where it's working smoothly. You know, if your car doesn't have an oil change, it may not run forever. If your tech stuff's dialed in and then it has routine oil changes, you're good. And we build in any make, model, or whatever of tech you've got, we'll build in it.
Got it. Yeah, it's huge. And then getting someone with an outside expert perspective to help them through what they need and what they don't need is very necessary. And like you're right, people just run around and buy stuff because there is either a good sales pitch or somehow they get convinced to buy it and they actually don't need it.
Yep.
Right.
Very, and it's a different package. Each person has a slightly different package of things that might work best for them too.
Right.
So
absolutely. So how has it been for you over the past year since the pandemic started? Where were you last year? How were you affected? Where was your confidence affected in any shape or form?
Well, like I said, when we got on here, my confidence actually was much lower. Probably from the business mindset perspective, more of the imposter syndrome type thing. And there are many people within the communities that we are both in, and from giveaways and being on calls with different people, things I've learned and had the support, because really it comes back to those relationships and the support. And the relationships may have started with me downloading something from somebody or from being in a meeting with them. And those things have come together to increase my confidence. I would say business wise, I didn't have an issue with going from 0 Zoom meetings to 500. I was already at the 500. And so I think I went from 500 to, oh my God, I've got to figure out how to pare these down a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I came up with a couple of strategies for. But the confidence piece truly came from the community.
Absolutely. I mean, having a community, having the people to kind of fall back into, getting the support, tap into the wisdom and knowledge and expertise, and just being able to ask questions, ask for help.
Yeah.
And then getting feedback from different perspectives. It's the biggest thing. It's the most important thing.
Well, and I know you and I both come from a community that describes one of their tenets as "I'll go first."
Yeah.
And building relationships and "I'll go first" will get you so much farther than anything else you do.
Absolutely.
And I was actually just talking to the founder of that group the other day and reiterated how vital the relationships I have built since being in their program. And just wanted, it was thanking them again for putting that, helping me learn how to build those business relationships. Because they are. And it's not just for somebody buying. It's not at all somebody buying from you. And it's not always even somebody sending you a referral. It might be that you send a referral to them that sends another referral to somebody else, and then it comes back around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Huge. Having a community and hanging out with people that get it, that are on the same path, they're pursuing a similar goal, or they've already done it, and they can guide you or help you and point you in the right direction. Huge.
And with that abundance mindset. I know that one of the interviews I was on the other day, there are two of us who provide similar services, but I absolutely love and adore that other person. And we figure out how to collaborate whenever we can, and some would go, well, wait a minute, they do the same thing. Well, no, they don't do exactly the same thing. But even at that, we'd rather have fun together and figure out how to help somebody together.
Yeah. And we may very well complement each other. And there are people, say, on my list who don't buy from me, but they may buy from you and vice versa.
Yeah.
Or for whatever reason. And you might as well help people on your list that are there and connect them with someone else. And maybe along the way, you're probably going to receive maybe a JV commission, which would be a nice added bonus as well.
And not that karma pays the bills, but having good karma come back to you is good too.
Sometimes karma pays the bills, and then some.
Well, yes, depending on how you describe it, you are spot on. I stand corrected.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I get it.
Sometimes you do something good for someone, and then they introduce you to someone else, and it could be a 7-figure introduction or a 6-figure introduction. You never know.
Yeah.
I just got, honest to God, I just got a 6 or 7-figure introduction. Out of the blue, someone emailed me saying, "I think you should meet this person. I think you guys are a good match." I'm like, "All right, I like that. I'll take it."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going to transpire.
That's what happens in this community.
Absolutely.
That's literally what happens. It's one of the blessings. So
for sure. Oh, Annie's here. Let me add Anne to the list. Welcome, Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Hello. Hi.
And I know, please tell me your last name. Is it Lundberg? Did I?
Close enough. It's Ljungberg, but I don't expect anyone across the pond to be able to say that.
All right. Welcome. How's your evening going?
It's fine. Really
fantastic.
It's been a few good days being in this giveaway. It's so fun to see gifts going away.
Absolutely. You got some amazing gifts there. So, Stacy, let me ask you about your gift, what it is, and how it helps business owners boost their confidence.
Okay. It's a technology development package. It's a spreadsheet, a video, and a checklist that all help you organize your technology, and not just the hardware, software, also the mindset technology. So you'll find out in the video what I mean by that. And you can use it to organize all of your information so that you can then sort through it and find out what things you have that you need, what things you might not need anymore. And I would say it boosts your confidence partly by being able to boost your pocketbook by slimming that down a little.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that comes with it is a meeting with us to find out how we can help you decrease your stress. So
love it. So you mentioned that people mostly need 3 things. And you said they have a dozen or a couple of dozen things, but they only need 3. What are these 3 things that they need?
It looks different in each person, but primarily, I can't really bring it down to 3 things for the pieces, except that you need a way for people to opt in to your giveaway item. You need a way to deliver that, and you need a way to follow up.
Okay.
And those are 3 major tech pieces. Sometimes that's in an all-in-one system. Sometimes it's in 3 or 4 systems. You
got it. Stacy, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Nope. Just a thank you for putting them on this event, not once, but at least twice. And I'm getting ready to get ready for the 3rd one.
Absolutely. It's coming up in November. Get ready. We're going to do it again. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate your generous contribution, and look forward to playing with you for the next few days and see what will transpire.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
And feel free to hang out, and other people are going to jump, but if you have to leave, that's all fine as well.
I will probably go watch from the other room, but
all right.
To see you, Anne. It's been a while since we've been in the same room.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Good to see you, and I will go watch from the other room.
Got it. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And how are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Fantastic.
I'm here in Sweden, and it's coming up on 11 p.m.
All right. I thought it was like 3 in the morning or something.
No.
It's not too bad. It's late, but so how's your day going so far? How was your day?
Well, it's been fun because I've been speaking to people who are possible JVs, and that's always interesting. And also traveling through the beautiful archipelago of Stockholm, getting from my home out on an island into the city, where I have a small apartment where I do my nightly North American meetings. So it's great.
Very nice. Very nice. So give us your name, your business name, and where you're from. I know you already touched on it, but let's do this. Your name, business name, and where you're from.
So my name is Ann Ljungberg, and my business is Expert Coalition Inc. It's a US-based business, actually, even though I'm in Sweden. But I have been traveling constantly the past 20 years, and I'm just having a little break from that during the pandemic. But I normally live on a sailboat, which I've been doing for since 2002, when my husband and I left Sweden to just go cruising, and with the plan to have no plan, which has been working perfectly, I must say.
Wow, good for you. And do you have internet while you're sailing around?
Usually we will be pretty close to shore. During those not too frequently happening times, crossing the Atlantic, for instance, we have been using satellite, but it's very, very limited. It's like I put up my blog post, download emails after looking at the headers and seeing if it's something really urgent, and having great support onshore with people who are taking care of that part of the business.
Interesting. How many times have you crossed the Atlantic?
Only 2.
And was it a smooth ride, or was it kind of rough?
It was incredibly rough.
Really? I think I want to try that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try
I was so looking forward to it, because when you leave Europe, when you leave the Canary Islands and you go with the trade wind over to the Caribbean, and it's called the Milk Run. And normally you would just set the sails and they would stay in that same position. You're going with this wind from behind, and pretty smooth winds. But we had way too much wind. We had about 50 knots of wind for weeks, and about 23 feet waves. And
so you climb up that wave, and then you climb down on the other side?
Well, mostly it felt like we were riding on top of a wave the whole time. So.
Oh my God, that's like a roller coaster, eh?
Yes. And the boat is incredibly sturdy, but all these little things start breaking. Like when you notice that, whoops, these sheets are holding our sails up. It's down to a little thread, and we have to change them, and constantly working, fixing stuff. Our wind vane broke, which made our steering go bonkers, which made all the sails share, and so it was pretty wild.
All right.
So it took me about 5 years to gather enough courage again to agree to do the same trip again the other way around. And that was supposed to be a 4-week trip, and it took 2 months, but that's another story.
All right. I'm going to add that to my bucket list. Cross the Atlantic on a boat.
Yeah, there are fun moments. Absolutely.
I think I'd like to see the nice and the smooth sailing, and I'd like to see some rough sailing and get scared and hold on to dear life and all that.
Yeah.
So
you'll get to do that.
I'm an adventurous guy, so I look forward to that. I know a lot of people don't appreciate it, but I like it. Anyway, so what's the story behind your business, and how did you get into it?
Well, when we started sailing, I had quit my corporate job. I didn't want to take it with me at all. I had 1 year of just being, and realized then that no, we were not ready to go back to Sweden and live our normal lives. We wanted to continue this lifestyle, but I didn't want to be the eternal tourist. And also we needed to add some to the cruising kitty, as I said. I needed to start earning money again. And I thought of a lot of things I wanted to do. And I took one of my greatest hobbies, writing, turned that from a hobby into work. And for 15 years, I worked up my business from this could be fun, to a little empire where I had finally trained 60 other people to become book coaches working with my method.
Nice.
So nice. I had a fun, and I built this business on the boat. I didn't meet any of my clients. They were all in Sweden for, I think it took almost 2 years before I met my first client in person. So I started out doing everything online.
Oh my God, that would be nice to build a business on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried that. Oh my God, you just give me another bucket list item.
That was so much fun. And also, I picked just the right thing, because reading other people's manuscripts for books, I did not have to have constant internet connection.
Oh,
I could download those files when I was shorebound, go out to sea, read for a couple of weeks, come back and upload. So that was brilliant.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you just gave me new perspective. I love it.
Just find the kind of work you want to do. But then,
Stacy says, me too. I'd love to build a business on a boat. See, there's two of us now.
Yay! I can coach you on that.
Yeah, there you go, Stacy. Call her up.
Mm-hmm.
So, who do you serve and what do you do for them?
Well, I have transitioned. So since I actually started training book coaches instead of working with authors, I sort of made myself redundant as a book coach.
Okay.
Which was a great thing. And I also thought, darn, I've been doing this training. Maybe I could help other experts to teach people to work with their methods and create a certification program. So that's my business now. In Expert Coalition, I help people who are the go-to experts in their field. They've fought their way to being top of this mountain. And they may do all the right things. They have the online programs, they have group coaching. They should be able to scale that way, but they may find that people still want a chunk of their time, and they can't help everyone who needs them. Or they may want to add some extra value to what they're doing. So I'm working with different kind of people who, so for instance, I worked with a person who wanted to create mentors for his course on how to create online courses. Gets a little meta here. But my first idea was, okay, I know you're always teaching this course live. Of course, you want to train other teachers so you can spend your time doing other things. But no, he still wanted to teach this course, but he wanted to have certified mentors who would take the students by the hand, actually do it done with you, with the tech, with the strategy, making sure that, yes, by the end of the course, they are complete, they have the results, which is harder to get all on your own because there's not only this course in your life, right? There's a lot of life happening in everything we do. And that was one thing. While others just want to clone their business, which is actually the name of my course, said, yes, this is my method. I will extract this. I will bridge the gap between what I'm actually teaching or consulting or working with my clients, but I don't ever tell them because they don't need to know. They just need to see the results. And the know-how is here. But if you're going to teach this to other experts, other consultants who will work with your method, they need that gap. They need to fill that. So you actually need to bring everything out. And since it's so, for many people, so deep in our spine, I help them to bring that out so they can build a very full certification program.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So that's how people build a certification program to certify other people, other coaches for their program.
Yes.
Right.
So, for instance, I mean, you have your your marketing program, if you would like other people to work with the program the way you do, if you would like to have it, say, translated to different countries, that would be a licensing part. But then also having people really working through the method, building on top of that a certification part. So you could have little Mustafas in all the countries in the world.
Very nice. Yeah, that's a good way and leveraged way to grow and scale your business, right? Because there's only so much I can do, but if I go around and certify other people to deliver, and then there's the what you might call it, royalties and the rest of it that comes through with that as well, I believe, right?
There are so many different ways to do that. You could have really solid systems in place so you can track all transactions and get a kickback from everything your trained consultants sell. Or you could, after they've gone through the program, which of course is a high ticket program, because you are teaching a proven method that you know works, that you've been working with clients, so they are definitely going to make back their investment once they start working the same way you do. So it's a high ticket program. But after that, you may want to keep them in, or offer them to stay in a community. That might be like a membership or a mastermind or an agency, whatever you want to call it. And they could pay a fee to be in that. And that fee could in turn cover that they're actually working with clients that you could have been working with. And do you want to be working the same way, actually, after you have trained all these people? Or are you going to sort of step up yourself and be the real CEO, overlooking your business, having new doors open?
Exactly. So instead of
crossing
being
the Atlantic,
stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. Tell us about your gift and how it helps business owners boost their confidence.
Well, if you are an expert, but you don't have any idea how you could go about creating a certification program, I will give you the confidence right here, because in my gift, you get quite a few things. It's my Certification Mastery Starter Kit Gold, which I've never given away before. So it contains a masterclass that is pre-recorded. You get access to that right away. You get a workbook to assess your possibilities for scaling by creating a certification program. So with the help of that, you can see, is this really for me? And you also get a project plan template in Trello, so you can start creating your own plan should you want to go ahead with the certification program. And to top this off, I have two brand new things in this Certification Mastery Starter Kit, which makes up the gold part. And that's a half-day VIP day with me. We're going to do it in a group setting, but it's definitely going to be VIP because we're working with your process. So it's a half day to design your certification process. All the things you would need to make sure that you can trust people who are going through your program. What kind of tests or case studies or so will they need to pass so you can put the stamp on and say, yes, I trust you to work.
Yeah. I think part of what you do is to help people become confident and accept the fact that they can certify other people, right? That's I guess step one. And they actually believe and accept the fact that they themselves are actually experts and they can train other people to do what they know, which is a beautiful thing. And you got a package there.
Yes, and I do hear people saying, oh, I've been thinking of doing that, but, really what if they just run away with my knowledge and misuse it and all that? It's a valid fear. yes, but we have processes in place so you can secure your intellectual property, which is a very, very important part of the certification process.
Very nice. Gang, if you're watching or listening, this week the confidence giveaway is happening. 20 plus entrepreneurs and amazing experts are sharing gifts as generous as the gold package that Anne just shared, VIP training, and she will help you with certification of your program. She will there's a lot in there. So the link
actually there's more. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to say it, and there's more. There's also a complimentary gold ticket to my Certification Mastery Live, which happens in July.
Wow.
So you get 3 days where you meet people who already have successful certification programs, and a lot of surprises on those days.
Dang, if you're watching or listening, that's probably a $2,000 value right there, and you get it for free. So go in there, click on the link, opt into the giveaway, get access to Anne's. What is the title of your gift, by the way?
The Certification Mastery Starter Kit Gold.
Love it.
It's a mouthful.
Beautiful. And I really appreciate you joining us and contributing to the giveaway. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Just everyone who's watching, be sure to look through the whole list of gifts, because there's some really, really brilliant things in here. And I would love to help you if you have, not necessarily now, but just looking into the future. How could you scale? So let's connect.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. I know it's kind of late out in Sweden. So have a good night's sleep, and I'm sure I'll see more of you in the next few days.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mostafa, for doing all this.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. My next guest is Bridget Callahan. Welcome, Bridget.
Hi, Mostafa. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good. Great. Good to see you.
Great to see you. You're like vibing pretty high. Like,
why is that?
Like your energy level is so good.
Oh yeah, I'm getting lots of great feedback. We just hit over 500 in our membership site this week, and we're getting some great testimonials of people just blown away about what they're learning and how they can use it to increase their confidence. So it's really exciting.
Love it. So give us your name, business name, and where you're from.
So Bridget Callahan. My company is called Babylon Arts. I'm a presentation design strategist, and I live in San Juan Capistrano, California.
Beautiful. And what is the story behind what you do now? How did you get into it?
Well, I always wanted to be an artist. I knew that all my life. I got a degree in art, a Bachelor of Arts degree in college. And my first job out of college was assisting an art director, doing graphic design. 2 years later, I got another job, and it was working for an event company, assisting the art director, making his dreams come true. Because he would draw these storyboards to these recordings, the speaker recordings, and then the soundtrack. And we would create these beautiful events for large, events like American Airlines, Bridgestone Tires, and NCR. And I had no idea what an event company did, but I just learned it, and I made his dreams come true and make sure that the slides were created and animations were created. And this was all done on a drawing table. This was before computers. So, fast forward 30 plus years later, I've had lots of experience working live events and then learning the computer and working backstage with the speakers before they hit the stage. And I've got to experience live in these live events, how slides project, how they relate to the audience, and how that helps the speaker. And I got to tell you, 90% of all the presentations I've seen just don't hit the mark. And it's amazing how most people don't put thought to the slides that they put on screen, even though it's the biggest thing they're looking at. Yeah,
it's a big deal. It is a big deal. And if they're like a smart ass like myself, that would just, put a few slides together, go in there, edit it, and bam. They don't put that artistic perspective into it. They don't even think about their viewers. All they think about is, what do I want to present? How do I present it? And then
and put everything on there so I don't forget to present it.
Exactly.
And so it's basically, presentations have been called speaker support, but I think there's a misconception. It's not to support the speaker, it's to support the audience. So when you think of a movie, if you were watching every word that they were saying and it was covering the whole screen, wouldn't that kind of take away from the enjoyment of the movie?
Exactly.
I mean, you want suspense, you want pauses, you want to be questioned. And when you can convey your slides and inquire on those questions, like don't put all the text on the slides, put like part of the text so that they kind of wonder, okay, well, they're going to say that. I want to hear what they have to say about that. And so then they listen. So it's a little prompt, like a couple of words here and there. And so I help people with that. When they list all the bullets, I said, well, let's take this off. Let's put one bullet per slide, use a nice image, and then prompt them to think so they listen to you.
Very nice. Very nice. How was it for you during the pandemic? Where were you last year when the pandemic started? Was your business and your confidence affected in any shape or form? And what has been going on since?
What happened was I was working with some event producers, and I was flying back and forth to the East Coast, helping with an event for an automotive company, to help their dealers learn the new systems of the new vehicles coming out. And basically, it's a big team. They have video producers, they have writers, all this stuff. I'm just one person who does the slides and makes sure they run on time. And I love that. I love working live events. I love working with a team. And that all went away. Like, they were going to see how they can work it out. And then all of a sudden they said, you know what, the trip's canceled and we don't know when we're going to hire you again. And they still haven't called. And so, my pivot was, I still did what I did. I do graphic design from my home studio, and I have my own graphic design company. But it gave me a chance to really focus more on how can I help people now that they're presenting remotely. And, more people are watching Zoom now or Microsoft or whatever you're conveying your talk. And how can I help them with those visuals so that they can really connect with their audience, and increase their confidence, both for them presenting, but increase the confidence of the audience, listening in and taking in the information.
Absolutely. So then you went from doing a lot of live events to mostly online, a bunch of customers canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And now did you have to readjust or change your approach on how you find your customers or how you serve them?
Yeah, I had to get my confidence up as far as approaching clients directly rather than waiting for event producers to call me. And then just stepping out there and saying, hey, normally the event producers call us and we just work for them. So if we're hired to work with a company that the event producer is working with, we're not allowed to go direct to that company and say, hey, by the way, I can help you with your slides, because we sign non-disclosures and we're under the umbrella of the event producer. All fine and good, and that's the way it's been done, but it doesn't help me now that they're not hiring me. So it's like going on LinkedIn or giving talks. I mean, I just gave a talk to Microsoft last week, and these are, their soft skills training. So they make PowerPoint, but they still need some help with what do I put on the slide to make it work. And it's eye-opening when people see what's possible. They've never seen slides like that before, or maybe they have, but they didn't understand why does it work. And I explain, how the brain, consumes the information you're providing.
Very interesting. Who do you serve now, and what do you do for them?
So I serve eager entrepreneurs, savvy sales and marketing professionals, and passionate speakers who really want to make a difference and need help getting there.
All right. And then what do you do for them?
My done-for-you solution is basically take it off their plate. I do their slides for them. All they have to do is give me an outline, or if they have a script or even a previous recording, I can take it from there, and I can really create these like the wow factor Hollywood type visuals that just are compelling and engaging and appreciative of the audience. And I do that all the time. But, I also have a done with you solution where we'll work together, or I'll create a template for you, a branded template. And then I'm just, I have a membership site where my free offer is housed. And, like I said, we already have 500 members in there. And now I'm launching the private membership, where they're going to get more personal time with me, you know, in the private office hours and stuff. And people love my office hours. We're going to actually have it once a week now for people in the membership.
And so what do they get in your membership program?
Well, they get time with me in the office hours. They get dripped content, like little short videos, 2 to 5 minutes, or PDFs on how to do things. How do I present in Zoom and not look like an idiot? You know, how do I make sure that the video plays? What color should I use? Or what?
Sorry to interrupt you. There's like a beautiful title for you: How to Present on Zoom and Not Look Like an Idiot. That's a beautiful title for any marketing material, email, a Facebook ad, or anything.
Okay, you're my marketing guru, so thank you.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I couldn't resist. So you were saying.
Yeah, just there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, we're still building the list of all the content that we're building out for the year, and then year 2, year 3, whatever. And then looking at different audiences. Like, I'd really love to build an audience of graphic designers, because, you know, if they design slides, they think they know how to design slides, but they've never sat in a live audience. They never sat in a live room to see how it presents and what does it look like on screen. They're just designing slides on a computer thinking it's a coffee table book. And I want to up level their skills so that they really can make a difference. And I love graphic designers. I can go in deep into Photoshop and animations and stuff like that. And graphic designers love that stuff. Most speakers, they don't want to know the deep levels of animation. So, but, you know, I don't want to over inundate them too. And there's some people that just like this as a hobby and they just want to touch into their creativity. And I love to nurture that in people.
Very nice. Very nice. So we got a few extra minutes. Would you be open to share a few tips on how to present on Zoom and not look like an idiot?
Practice. First of all, practice with your tech. So have an assistant, like my beautiful assistant, Arlene. I call her my Ed McMahon, because she's always there to start the Zoom and welcome people in and help people if they're not muted or something like that. So have an assistant. And then when you're presenting your slides, there's a trick, and I'm going to create a video. I haven't created it yet, but I'll create a video on how to do it. But you have your slides already in presentation mode. And then they'll say, well, I can't see my Zoom window. I says, yeah, you can. There's a trick to go to your Zoom window so you can share your screen. And when you share your screen, immediately your slides are already in place. So they're not seeing your screen, your desktop, you know, and all your icons and all that fun stuff. And then think ahead. One thing that we have to do when we were live events is we have to practice all the things that could go wrong. And what do? That's why we have 2 computers presenting at the same time, because one computer can go out and within 2 seconds we switch to the second computer because it's timed to the right one. I'm not saying you need to do that, but I'm telling you from experience, think of what could go wrong and how will you handle it. And a lot of times you won't know until it does go wrong, and then you can plan for the future, you know.
Exactly. Anything else that should be aware of so they don't look like an idiot?
Be okay if something goes wrong. Like, just be natural like it, you know, and just really hold your audience, because they're gonna temper their emotions by how you are. I saw one speaker where the whole projector went out, and this was a live event, and they were so flabbergasted, and they were just like, oh, what do we do now? And the lights went out. They just had hotel lights. And they've kind of finished, but the next speaker got up, didn't even need slides. They had slides, but they did great. And he really engaged the audience. He was like the best because he didn't get flustered by the mistake or, you know, the thing they didn't plan for.
Oh, yeah. What do they think when something does go wrong? Like, what's the question in my mind? Like, I'm presenting, the frickin' presenter, the projector light goes off, or the light goes off, something goes wrong. What question am I trying to answer next?
Well, that's why I say rehearse it, right? So if that happens, oh my gosh, we lost our slides. Well, okay, so we're going to present now without slides. And I can do it because, you know, I'm just here to connect with you and give you all my best. In fact, I've talked about slide design all the time, like we're talking now, and they've never seen my slides, yet they want to, and they want to know, well, what are we missing here? So we're filling in, we're, you know, kind of baiting them to fill in the gaps and see, well, what do these slides look like? So it's not necessary to have slides to give a talk. If your voice went out, you might have a colleague come up and speak for you, but you just, what are the different things you can do? I mean, worst case scenario, you just walk off stage, or you just shut down Zoom and I'm done. How does that serve your audience though?
Love it. That has happened to me a few times where my presentation stopped working. Quite a few times when I run a workshop, my internet kind of goes up and down, and then then I have to come up, think of something fun. Like the other day, one of our guests here on the show, she lost her internet. So while I was waiting for her to come back, I started talking about some stuff.
That's good.
And then I mean, I could have freaked out and be like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?"
Well, and I tell people, I said, when something happens with your computer, first thing you could do is restart. And if you have a second laptop plugged into the Zoom, you could just move over there and still engage and start up the other computer. That's what I would recommend if you really want to have high stakes, no missed connection. And the event people, when they're working remotely, they tell us, if you're going to work for our event, you have to have 2 different modes of internet access. So you have to have, like 2 different cable companies or something, or, maybe you have your Verizon and you can tab into that as a backup or something.
Very interesting. Never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
We work from home, so we're only connected to one company, but that's a great idea.
I'm just saying that people that work events remotely now, that was one of the things required. If you're going to do work with us, you have to have access to 2 internets. And so these people that do events all the time from home, they just buy 2 internets. Of course, they get paid for it, but I mean, I never would have thought of that before.
Me too. Mm-hmm. Never would have. I mean, I have a backup computer, so if something goes wrong with my computer, I could quickly pull up the other one, but never thought about 2 internets.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting. I mean, if you're in the event business, it makes perfect sense. But
and for a speaker too, like I have an iPad, I have a phone, I have a computer. If my computer died and I'm wired in, I can always dial in with the phone and talk, or dial in with Zoom and they could see my picture from the phone. So just got to be a little creative and just say, how am I going to solve this problem if that happens? And really, we don't know what happens until we see it happen to someone else or it happens to ourselves. So
absolutely, part of it comes with experience as well. I mean, mm-hmm. unless you go through it, you wouldn't know how to deal with it. So what would you say to someone if something did go wrong? What's the next thing that they should do? Like, they just blew the whole thing up. It didn't go as planned.
Put yourself in the audience's seat. What would you want to see in that moment? Right? I kind of go to humor. It's like, oh my gosh, I've just completely lost my talk. Now I'm blanked out. What do I do? But, the reason I'm here is because of blah, blah, blah. And, let's just turn this into a Q&A. Who has any questions of what I've talked about so far? So you just be creative, and how can you fill the space with the time that you have? I'll tell you, you're going to get asked back on that stage over and over again. They're going to so respect you, and the audience is going to go, wow, that Absolutely. Person was prepared.
Yeah. I love the humor route as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get all angry and lose your mind, it doesn't look good. And so good. So tell us about your gift and how it helps business owners boost their confidence.
Well, it gives them the secrets to create successful slides that really connect with their audience to generate higher conversions and increased confidence. The gift is called Rise Above the Rest, my top 5 secrets to create compelling slides that engage.
Very nice. Compelling slides that engage. I guess if you speak at any events or speaking is probably one of the best ways to get your name out there, create a brand and build the following, and I guess having a solid presentation behind you that supports you and converts and engages people, and the rest of it is important. So Bridget is contributing this amazing gift to help you build engaging slides, and she has a beautiful program, and I've worked with her for just over a year now, and I know that she really knows her stuff, and she's worked with some big corporations out there, including Microsoft and some other big shots out there, and so she really knows her stuff. So reach out, download the gift along with 20 other gifts that we got lined up for you. The link is in the comments below and in the description of the show. And the giveaway runs until Sunday, June the 6th at midnight. And
yeah, if you come take advantage of my gift, you're going to be in the membership site, no charge, and you're going to have access to our free office hours. I call it look over my shoulder as I help you fix your slides. People come with their questions, with their slides. They call it. These look like they were designed by a 10-year-old.
That's like probably the most, to me, that's like the most valuable thing. If you could look over my shoulder and then give me feedback on what I need to do, and then I can ask the expert the questions about how do I do this? How do I do that? What do you think of this design or the layout or the colors and the fonts and the sizes?
Exactly.
And all,
so many questions. Mm-hmm.
As a business owner, we've only got a gazillion decisions to make our mind on, right? And then there's a million different areas to cover. If you could just take one thing off your plate about marketing, I would definitely do that. Show up somewhere and you're getting this complimentary where people usually pay for something like this to get feedback from an expert like Bridget and improve their stuff. So opt in, grab it while it's there. Like I said before, our giveaway is not your average giveaway. We got some real gifts in here. So
I love it. I'm opting in on the other gifts as well.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff. Like who was it? Michelle Nedelec has a little tool where they give you a 40-page report on how to improve your website's overall thing. And then it's prioritized, color-coded. Like, that is amazing. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't talked about?
Well, you may not be a speaker, but you may still use slides to sell, like you might do pitches and stuff like that. So that's, slides like that can also make a huge difference. Come see my webinar. If you haven't seen me speak before, come see my webinar, because once you see one of my webinars, you'll never look at slides the same way again, ever.
Absolutely. Anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't talked about?
You could tell how passionate I am about this, and I love to bring out the creativity in people. I think we all have access to creativity. It's just maybe it was stifled when we grew up. And so when people come and want to learn how to do their own slides, I used to think, why are you trying to do that? But now I think, you know what? They want to learn it and they want to know how to do it better. So let's support them in that. And I just love that. And my final tagline is success by design. Your success is by design.
Absolutely. What do you mean by that?
So if you want successful slides, I can design them for you. Your success, you just don't have success just by being born. It's designed, whether you purposely thought about it, someone else designed it for you, or you accidentally fell into it. But if you really want purposeful success, design it. Like I've put some things in my calendars, like I want to be on that person's stage in 6 months.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Bridget. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and thank you for playing with us with the giveaway, and thank you for the generous contribution to the giveaway.
Yes.
You're making a difference out there. I know people have massive problems with their slides and their technology behind it and how to put it together and the rest of it. So kudos to you and all the great work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's good to see you with a beard. It looks nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's a story behind that. I'll share an episode on that later.
Okay. Very good.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Take care.
All right. Good to see you. Bye-bye. All right. My next guest is Jeanette Anderson.
Hello.
Welcome, my dear. How are you?
I'm peachy. How are you?
I am good. It's good to see you.
You too. Looks like you've been doing a lot of interviews, one after the other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love doing it. I love hanging out with people, chatting about business, and we're like sharing stories, and I find that stories are very inspirational. So love it. So how's your day going so far?
Awesome. I'm been on back-to-back calls. Just got off with a client in Australia, and really finding, the confidence theme, that there's a lot of people struggling right now with just a sense of a lot of imposter complex going on in the world. A lot of that sense of, who am I to try and make that leap? How do I get to that next level? What's next? But even underneath the what's next, the practicalities, is the fear that I can't make it. I can't make that leap. And so there's a lot of that going on right now in the ethers. So yeah, it's been interesting, and a lot of what I think is really valuable about your process and what you're providing people is lots of the practical tips for some of what they need to make the leap more effectively.
Absolutely. All right, so let's do the proper introduction. Give us your name, your business name, and where you live or where you're from.
Okay. Jeanette Anderson, the Why Whisperer. I am, my business's name is actually Positive Results, but my brand is Bodacity, bodacity.ca. And Bodacity is the combination of bold plus audacious. And really, it's about supporting women and grabbing life by the ovaries and going for it. And and it's a lot of really supporting them in making that next leap, so they can be the difference that only they can be to their next 10 or tens or hundreds of clients. I am currently in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, and have been for far too long, because I typically have a mobile lifestyle, but have been, a little stuck here due to COVID for the last year. Yeah.
Is it hot up there too?
Oh, it is. Yes. It's lovely and very, very hot. Yes.
Is the beach busy?
Very. And ridiculously so, because they did this last summer as well and didn't watch any of the restrictions at all. And then we had a surge of COVID. So yeah,
interesting.
This Alberta mentality is kind of like Texas or Toronto or Ontario, a bit of a rebel attitude where you can't tell me what to do. And then that's why they're hotspots. It's like,
I'm a tough guy. I don't get sick.
There.
I got this managed. Don't tell me what to do. I'm good.
Exactly.
But the last time I was up in Sylvan Lake was probably 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay. Yep.
I should make the trip.
It's pretty and it's close. It's only an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half.
And that lake the lake is massive.
Yeah, it is.
It is huge.
So it's been lovely watching all the people boating and stand-up paddleboarding and all of that kind of stuff.
Amazing. So what is the story behind your business and Bodacity, bold and audacious, and how did you end up doing what you're doing?
Okay, well, I'm going to give you like the short version of this. About 10 years ago, I got this download into meditation, and I wrote like 12 pages of notes after this. It was this calling forward for me to do all of this work with women about the mission statement is shifting the world from fear to love, one happy woman at a time. And it sounded great. And I read it, and I literally closed the book and went, "You got the wrong number. Like you called the wrong person." And I then spent 8 years kind of avoiding that calling, going, "Well, I don't even really like women, leave me alone," and I'd hang up. And then the universe would call again, and I'd go, "I'm not really a feminist. You got the wrong number," and I'd hang up. And then it was like, "Oh, it's so been done. There's like so many women's groups, and so you don't need another one," and I'd hang up. This little avoidance dance went on for the better part of 8 years. And finally, I very graciously surrendered and said, "Okay, fine. Leave me alone. I'll do it. What do you want?" And I stepped into it. And then I really started to understand why women, why now, and why me. And really the bottom line is it's about shifting how we do things so that people are really being the difference that they're here to be, so that they can profit from their passion and their purpose, and that we can start to recreate or reinvent how business is done, how we get along as human beings on this planet, and really what's possible. So The big picture is it's about all of that. The small picture is I help people get their next 10 clients. And in between, there's lots of linkages there, but really a lot of it is I can help you profit from your purpose and turn your why into something, your stand in the world, then that's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit the people you help. It's going to benefit the world. And that's cool beans.
You know, in my workshop, Simple Marketing Formula, part of what we do is finding what you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions that I ask is listen to what people are telling you.
Yeah.
Right? If people tell you that you're good at this one thing or they reach out, that's a good clue that you should probably focus on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Only if you don't take 8 years to take
yeah, exactly. I know. I am such a good poster child for why resistance doesn't work.
But then I guess as part of it, we have to go through it. But
no, not if we're smart. If we're smart, we don't resist like I did. But
it's like sometimes for me it's not clear. You know, it only takes 8 years for me to get clear. Like this is actually worth looking into. I have enough data.
Some of us are a little more rebellious than others, and some of us are a little more resistant than others. But I have now started to understand. And, you know, I always tell my clients that you don't get clear and then take action. When you take action, you get clear. And so when I finally said, okay, fine, I'll do it, and I got into action, I was immediately clear on why me, why the call, what was going on, what was this about. You know, that's clarified more and more over the years, but it's still... It's like, just stop thinking about it, go take some action, and then you'll get some clarity. Don't be and spin like I did for 8 years.
Why is my phone going off on silent? I don't get it.
I don't know.
My iPhone rings on silent.
That's great.
That's weird. I have to take it in. Anyway, I want to come back to this passion question, but let me ask you about the pandemic and how it has affected you. Where were you last year in January, February, March, when the pandemic came? How did you react and how has it been for you? And did it affect your confidence in any shape or form?
All of the above, yes. So I, like I said, I have a mobile lifestyle. I sold my house and everything I owned so that I could be officially homeless and go where I wanted to go and not be here in the winter. So I had driven from Calgary down to Florida, which, if you don't know, that's about a 3,800-mile drive, give or take, and was living in Florida, in Orlando at the time, and went down there to grow my business down there, go to networking, go to events, do a lot of that kind of stuff. Pandemic hit, and I was like, okay, now what? If we can't go and network and do things, and I can't sell down there because I'm Canadian, so a lot of pivoting, a lot of working with people to help them pivot, because I'm really good at that. I'm really good at helping people reimagine their business model and stuff. And so I spent about 6 months really invested in helping people pivot. And about mid-May, there was a little opening, and in terms of they opened up a bit. And so I made what I call the zombie apocalypse run back, where I drove back through 9 states trying not to touch anything or anyone. And so that was an interesting process. Got back here mid-May, I quarantined, and have been where I landed since then. It impacted me in many ways, mostly really positively, because I think it is such a wonderful and brilliant wake-up call. And in those wake-up call moments is when there's real opportunities to choose who are we going to be, and out of that, what are we going to do, and what actions are we going to take, and what do we want to have? And so I think it was a global wake-up call to say, who are you going to be in the world?
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a lot of people who really, really, really don't want to wake up and are very resistant. And a lot of people who are going, I don't know. Right. And so I think it's a really brilliant opportunity. And of course, with any adversity, there's tons of opportunity that comes at the same time. Because whenever something's down, something else is up. Right. So it's a time for resilience and resourcefulness. Now, from a confidence point of view, what it did or what I did during that process was I took my eye off the ball and started to buy into the notion that the market's down and therefore I can't make as much money and people are not buying my coaching and so forth. Not at all true, but it was kind of the typical feeling, and I bought into it for a little while, and that was not productive or helpful. And as soon as I let go of that story, then I started to get more coaching clients, just like I always have, and I started to get more people in my courses and so forth, because I think the need always exists for solutions. Sometimes we just have to go out to more people to find the ones that need us. So it's not a question of is there money available? Sometimes we just need to have more effort to go find it. So I think, to answer your final question around confidence, the pandemic aside, what I'm really noticing literally today and this week, the last 10 days with myself and all my clients is, and I kind of equated it like this: when you have a lot of suppression like we've had for a year, it's like a pressure cooker. And if you don't let some of the steam off, then it blows.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on right now. A lot of people going, enough. And so what we need to do is figure out, how do we take that steam off by staying in action in small bite-sized ways that lets some of the steam off without having to blow and without going into rebellion, because that's what people do. It's like, you're curtailing me, F you and everything about you, I'm going to go to the other extreme. I'm going to swing the pendulum way over. So rather than the rebellion and the blowout of the intentionality that we have and the focus we have, can we let off some of the steam and come more into the middle and stay in action? So a lot of the stuff that I'm doing and working with people on is stay the course, let the emotions happen, recognize there's a lot of suppression and therefore a lot of desire for rebellion, and choose from an adult perspective to stay on track, but to give yourself some space too. So I don't know if that actually answered your question, but that's kind of
it did. These are really important stuff. What are some examples of action items that I could do or people could do to let go of that steam that is building up? Because I personally feel like the pressure inside me is pretty high.
Yeah.
And at some points, I actually get in my car, drive in the country. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I yell and scream. I let the emotions go.
Yeah.
What are some examples of things that we should do that are healthy and let go of that pressure a little bit?
Well, those things you just said are really brilliant and really smart. And especially for men to give themselves permission to do that, because we have more emotions than we've had lately. And again, not just ours. Like, in Canada, we've just gone through this whole thing where with all of the residential schools and all of the challenges with the kids being found murdered. Black Lives Matter. There's a whole bunch of shit happening that's causing a tremendous amount of grief. And we need to give ourselves permission to grieve, even if it's not ours, even if it's not someone we know. There's just a lot of grief in the air right now. And so we need to make space for that. So let yourself grieve, let yourself cry, and let yourself have the anger, because anger is just fear. And so let it be okay to have some anger and to express it, like you said, in some really healthy ways, like go into nature, yell, cry, do what you need to do in ways that are very healthy. Don't kick your dog or your wife, do things that are healthy and helpful, but give yourself more space than you think you need for emotions that you don't think you have, but you do. So that's number one.
You can kick your husband. He probably deserves it.
No.
I'm joking.
Okay, there may be some wives who agree with you, but I don't. Okay, so the other thing that I would say, so that's number one. Give yourself more space than you think you need for the more emotions that you have that you don't think you have. The second thing, and really give yourself space for grieving. The second thing is, what got me out of the funk I was in, because I was struggling and spinning. I asked myself the question, what do I want more of? Or what do I want instead? And then how do I be the source of that? So what I did was I got into action around, okay, I want more flow. I want more abundance. I want more like the flow of giving and receiving again. I want to get things moving. I want more clients. I want more sense of making a difference. So what I did was I deemed it Generosity June. I declared it. It's Generosity June. And what I did was I decided, okay, I'm going to give massively this month. I'm going to really stretch myself to give, because that makes me immediately feel generous, the source of more contribution. I feel more sense of abundance because I'm giving from that overflow. And so I'm in your giveaway. I'm in another summit. I'm doing a bunch of complimentary webinars. I have a complimentary event. I'm doing 20 complimentary Why Whisperer sessions. And I'm doing that to fly in the face of my story about not enough. And to say, oh, no, there's more than enough. Look, I'm the source of a whole bunch of abundance here. And so be the source of that which you want more of. You want more love? Go hug some people. Send a card. Tell someone that you appreciate them. You want more money? Great. Go do the things that will generate it, but be abundant. Donate. Get a sense of, if I am the source of that, how does that live and work in my life? Rather than being at the effect of it, I'm just a victim of it. It's like, no, I'm the source of this experience. What am I going to create here? How am I going to do that actively? So that's the second thing I would say. The third thing I would say is action, action, action. Even if you don't know what you're doing, even if you don't know if it'll work, even if you don't know if it's the right thing, just stay in motion. One of the things that we tend to do when we get scared, when we struggle, is we turtle and we stop.
Yeah.
So don't. Stay in action. Stay in connection. Do the thing that is the opposite of what doesn't work. So take small steps. Pick up the phone once and reach out to a prospect and just be curious. Connect with them. Go get some things from a giveaway and see if you find an inspiration, an idea, and then act on it.
Mm-hmm.
Small things, take action, stay in motion, rather than that real tendency to let the inertia pull us down.
Absolutely. Wow, that there's a lot of brilliance in what you just shared. How are you doing for time?
I'm good. I got 5 more minutes.
All right. Tell us about what this Why Whisperer sessions are about, because I think it's pretty important.
Thank you. So I'm a big stand for, my stand in the world is basically that I want people to get that they matter and live like they do. And the reason that matters so much to me, of course, is my whole life I wanted to get that I mattered. And the live like you do is about really making sure that gets translated into showing up, giving your gifts, being a contribution, and being rewarded for that. And so a lot of the work that I do with people, I've been doing personal development facilitation for about 30 years now and helping entrepreneurs grow their business for 35. So the work I do is the intersection of those two, getting the 4 inches between your ears working so your business can work. And the why piece is, why do you do what you do? Really, in marketing, which I've been doing for 35 years, you got to master the 3 whys. Why do you do what you do? Why you? Why do I need what you have? And if you can do that and articulate that well, which is part of what you teach in your course as well, then people can understand and buy you, and those are the kind of the core things you need to know.
So what were those 3 questions again? I'm sorry.
Why do you do what you do?
Uh-huh.
Why you? Why should I pick you versus everyone else?
Uh-huh.
Why do I need what you have? What's in it for me to buy what you have? And if you don't have those 3 fundamental pieces, then your marketing's not going to be effective. Your sales is not going to be effective. Those are the 3 things people want to know. The first one, why do you do what you do, is really, people call it purpose, mission, calling. I call it why because those words are often quite laden. Like purpose can sometimes feel like some obligation or something. Why you do what you do is, I believe, the intersection of our healing from the past and what we long for our future. So it's the intersection of those 2 things. What are we healing from our past? And what do we long for ourselves and others? Sorry, just a sec. All right, then. That was a lot.
No worries. It happens.
Okay. So the why whisper sessions that I do is I listen. I have one of my stupid human tricks is I can hear longing. And so I listen for the longing and I help you identify what that is. And we look at what's the theme of the healing and how does that connect in a way that is really about why you're doing what you're doing? Because there's always some real depth to when we take our purpose and infuse it into our business and into what we do and how we show up in the world. It really helps us practically. It helps us differentiate ourselves in the market. It helps people understand who we are and fast tracks that know, like, love, and buy. It really helps us to stand out, and it helps us to strategically stay on track with our business too. So knowing your purpose or your why really helps you with
absolutely
so many different layers and levels of who you are in the world and how you run your business and why people should engage with you. You know, Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
That's
so,
absolutely true.
In the why whisper session, we figure that out. We get it clear for you, or pretty close to clear, if not clear, so that you can use it in your marketing, in your speaking, all of that.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely important. I know we're running out of time and you need to run. So tell us about your gift and how it helps business owners boost their confidence.
Absolutely. So part of what I know about a lot of people is that, and this is a whole longer rant about, there's a bunch of people in our industry, this information entrepreneur, online entrepreneur, expertpreneur world, that are teaching good things, but to the wrong people or at the wrong time. And so there's people who are buying things that aren't fit for the stage of business that they're at. And they're solutions that work for the people at the top of the mountain, but not when you're down at the bottom of the mountain. So they're left wondering, how do I do that? How do I make that leap? So what I have is one of those practical how-to questions at the very beginning. So people will say, you got to build your list. Well, great. How do I do that? How do I expand my influence? Well, the very first thing that you can do is get a piece of marketing that will help people know who you are, understand you, and where you have more confidence to be able to say, here's a little bit more, here's some value I can add, here's something I can give you that will help you move into the next step of this journey with me, a conversation, a sales call, or whatever. So it is the How to Create Authority and Influence Now package or training, and it is a video training, templates, and examples of how to create something called a buying criteria lead magnet. So what that means is it's a piece of information marketing that sets you as the expert and helps your prospect with making a decision about how to buy what you have to offer. So for instance, I have an ebook called How to Choose the Right Business Coach for You. 12 keys to make this critically important decision. And the 12 keys give them a criteria with which to select a business coach. Now, all of my competitors are being filtered through the standard that I have set. And of course, it allows them to get to know me. I provide value. So it leads to them wanting to talk to me. It's a great marketing piece, but it also really adds value to them where they're at. So I teach you how to do that so you can feel more confident that when you're networking, you can give it to someone and that'll take them to that next step. If you're speaking, you can have it as an opt-in or a giveaway. It's something that will help you to start to get more prospects in your funnel, in your world, so you can have more conversations, so you can get more clients. That's
love it.
What it does.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So what Jeanette does is absolutely important and essential. I only wish more of the people that I have worked with knew why they're doing what they're doing. So when they show up to build their marketing plan, they know they have the strong why behind it. Because if you don't have it, if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, you're going to have a very hard time waking up 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., waking up in the morning at all to do what you need to do, because you're just not motivated. But if you have that strong why, and all right, I'm very crystal clear on why I'm doing what I'm doing, then you get passionate about it. You have a lot easier time to convince yourself, motivate yourself, and help others. And it shows up in your behavior, and it shows up in your marketing and your conversation and the rest of it. So what I'm trying to say is what she does is absolutely important, and you need to opt in to the confidence giveaway, download her gift, and do reach out to her. She is an absolute gem. She knows her stuff. She's been doing it for
long time.
And so she knows her stuff. What I'm trying to say.
Thank you, Mostafa.
Jeanette, I love her boldness, because 2-3 years ago, she gave me a feedback that made a monumental change for me. And you just have to have a conversation with her and experience that. It is beautiful, and I'm getting emotional talking about it. So get there and get access to her gift and 20 other gifts that we got lined up. We got some amazing people, and it's there till Sunday, June the 6th. And so that's that. Jeanette, I would love to do a full episode with you. With the Daily Confidence Show. Hopefully we could book it in the next week or two, so I can have you and take an hour of your time and dig deeper into who you are, what you do, who you serve, and why, and the rest of it.
Beautiful. Would love to. Thank you, Mostafa. And thank you for being such a stand, for providing platform for people, for contribution. You are so awesome at what you do.
I appreciate that. Likewise.
All right. Have a wonderful day, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Everybody. All right, gang. So thank you for joining us. This was day 4 of the Confidence giveaway. We will be back live and online with other contributors tomorrow and on Saturday morning. So if you'd like to hear some more inspirational stories, some tips, actionable advice that you could use and tap into the knowledge and expertise of the people that we have lined up, join us at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time on Friday. And on Saturday, I believe it's going to be in the morning. The time is going to be posted on my profile and all of our social media platforms, so you can join us and have fun. Now, if you have questions about any of the stuff that we talked about for any of our experts and contributors, feel free to pop a question in chat box and or reach out to them directly. The other way that you could reach out to them, some of them are graciously and generously offering their personal time through this giveaway. Gang, you would normally have to actually pay for their time to tap into their knowledge, wisdom, and expertise. But just by simply opting into the giveaway, let me just post here the link here one more time. You could just opt into the gift, and some of them have included their personal time, so you can opt in and ask questions. That is invaluable. It's precious, right? You normally have to pay for that. So the link is there in the comments and in the descriptions of the show. Also, if you know anyone that could benefit from the conversation or the gifts that we're sharing here, tag them or share the link with them and share the resources with them. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mostafa Husseini, and we'll see you tomorrow with another episode of Daily Confidence for Entrepreneurs. Bye now.